record the session and let me share the screen. Okay, so we have two types of recoveries. One is whenever you restart the SQL server or whenever you just keep the database offline and online again, that is called restart recovery. And we have one more recovery called restore recovery. Whenever you restore a database, so once the restoration is completed, the database will come to its original state. So that is called restore recovery. Okay, so small just a terminology, that's it. So let me discuss about this recovery models. These are important. Okay, so what is this recovery model? How many types of recovery models are there? Okay, that is types of recovery. This is recovery models, don't confuse. Types of recovery means restart recovery, restore recovery, and recovery models are different. So we have three types of recovery model. So simply recovery model means controlling the behavior of the log file. Simply recovery model means controlling the behavior of the log file. So first of all, tell me what is the behavior of the log file, what it will do. What is the behavior of the log file first? What it will do, what a log file will do. What a SQL Server database log file will do, guys?
It will save uncommitted data, sir.
Not only uncommitted data. Why uncommitted data? It will save everything, right? Committed, uncommitted, everything. Yes, it will save the transactions, either committed transactions or uncommitted transactions. That is different thing. See, once the transactions are committed, then the data will be moved to the data file. Till it is going to commit, it is going to store in the log file only, right? So don't think only log file will hold uncommitted transactions and all. No, log file will store. What is the use of the log file? Everything it is going to store. Whatever transaction comes first, it will comes to the log file only. In the database, first every transaction comes to the log file only. If it is committed, then it will move to the data file, and the same transaction will be truncated from the log file, right? So the same behavior, that is called the behavior of the log file. So log file will log file will write each and everything to the particular file. So we can control that behavior, we can limit that behavior. No, don't write everything, write this thing only, write this thing only, right? We have ceiling fan, right? So if you just put the ceiling fan, we have modes. What is that? What we can call it as? We can keep it in first, second, third, so that the speed is going to increase and decrease, right? So you can control the speed of the particular fan using that device. What is the device? I don't know. What is that?
Regulator.
Regulator. Very good. Regulator. Using regulator, you can increase the fan speed and you can decrease it, right? So if you keep the fan speed in 4, if you keep the regulator in the 4th position, it will behave differently. If you keep it in 1st position, it will behave differently. In the same way, we have 3 types of recovery models. What is that? Full recovery model, bulk logged recovery model, and simple recovery model. Full, bulk logged, simple recovery model. What are these 3 types of recovery models? What they will do? In case if you put your database in full recovery model, how the database or log file will behave? If you keep your database in bulk logged recovery model, how it will behave? If you keep your database in simple recovery model, how it will behave? We'll discuss. So the full recovery model means it is going to write each and every transactions details to the log file, like the normal behavior, whatever we have discussed. Not only the transactions details, apart from the transactions details, it will also send some other parameters also, like on what database it was executed, database name, on what table the transaction is executed, at what time it was executed, what is the LSN number of each transaction. Okay, so apart from the transaction, we have imagined this is the transaction, insert into table name emp values 1 comma something like Suresh, comma, something is salary is 30,000. Okay, this is the transaction, right? So in the log file, it will store the whole transaction. Apart from this transaction, it will also stores on what database it ran, on what table it was inserted, at what time it ran, what is the LSN number. So lot of other details also will be stored. Okay, if you keep your database in the full recovery model. Not only transaction, apart from the transaction, it will store the extra details also if you keep the if you keep your database in full recovery model. And the log file won't be truncated automatically. This is very important. Log file won't be truncated automatically. Until you truncate, it is not going to truncate automatically. The log file is not going to be truncated. Truncate means what? It is going to delete everything from the log file, right? So if you truncate the log file, whatever committed transactions are there, all the committed transactions will be truncated automatically. That means it will be deleted from the log file. If you keep your database in the full recovery model, the database won't truncate the log file automatically. This is the main advantage of the full recovery model. Clear? Means it won't delete any data until you are going to truncate from the log file. That is the advantage of the log file, full recovery model. Where I can see the recovery model, first of all, you are saying a lot of things where I can see the recovery models. Okay, so you can see the recovery models on the database. Okay, if you go to the database properties, any database, you can see the any database. Right click properties. Okay, so go to files, not files. This is already there, right? Options. Go to option space. There you can see recovery model. Okay, if you expand, if you just click on it, you can see full recovery model, bulk log recovery model, simple recovery model. If you keep the databases in full recovery model, it will write each and everything to the log file, first thing. And second thing is log file won't be truncated automatically. Okay, log file won't be truncated automatically. That is the advantage of the full recovery model, right? Where is that notepad? Just a minute, guys. Right. Every transaction in full recovery model is logged into the transaction log file we have discussed. So as it is going to store these many details in the log file, like the transaction, okay, and the details like this. So usually the log file growth will be high if your database is in full recovery model. Why? Because like this, it is going to store 108 parameters, guys. These are just only 4 parameters for the transaction, but for every transaction, SQL Server will store almost all 108 attributes like this. These are just sample attributes, but like this kind of details, it will store 108 attributes for each transaction. Attribute means simply parameter. Okay, these are 4 attributes: database name, table name, time, at what time, what is the LSN number. Like that, it is going to save 108 details of each transaction. So obviously the log file growth will be high if you keep your database in the full recovery model. Okay, right. And when you take the tlog backup, then all completed records will be backed up and truncated from the log file. Okay, here I told you, right, what is the advantage with the full recovery model? Log file won't truncate it automatically. When it will, but it has to truncate it. It has to truncate. If we don't truncate, again, we cannot keep on adding the storage, right? The log file will be increased and we cannot keep on adding the storage and all. So when you took the log backup, automatically on the log backup means on the log file only we can take, right? So when you took the log backup on the log file, then whatever committed transactions are there, all the committed data will be truncated from the log file if the database is in full recovery model. If the database is in full recovery model, the log file won't be truncated automatically. You have to take the log backup, then only the log file will be truncated. This is the main important thing with the full recovery model. What is the pros? Full recovery model is recommended in the production environment. Sorry. Point in time recovery. Point in time recovery means what? Sometimes you will get this kind of question. What is meant by point in time recovery? Nothing. Point in time recovery means, imagine if your database is corrupted at 1:30 p.m. till what time you can recover? What is the best time you can recover? What is the best time you can recover the database? Till what time you can recover the database?
1:30, sir.
1:29 minutes 29 seconds. Sorry, 59 seconds. Why? Because by 1:30 it was corrupted, right? A second before the corruption is called point in time recovery. Got the point? A second before the recovery is called a point in time recovery. If you keep your databases in full recovery model, you can take full backups, you can take differential backups, you can take log backups and tail log backups. Okay, so all backups are possible on the full recovery model database. How can we achieve point in time recovery? Using these backups only, right? If we have full differential log, tail log backups, then only we can achieve the point in time recovery, right? Point in time recovery means what? Restoring your database a second before the corruption, right? If you don't have tail log backups, how can you restore that 30 minutes data or 14 minutes data? How can you restore? It is not possible, right? So if you keep the databases in full recovery model, all the backups are possible, so that you can restore the database till point in time recovery. That is the biggest advantage with the full recovery model database. Okay, so point in time recovery is possible in the full recovery model database. So there is no data loss. 99% on the production environment, all the databases will be in full recovery model only. Why? Because we don't agree data loss, right? So in the full recovery model, no data loss will be there. What is the cons? Of course, we have cons. As I discussed, it is going to store lot of data about each transaction. So the log file growth will be huge. Okay. And of course, if the log file is consuming lot of disk space, due to disk space, okay, we have to spend so much of money on the storage also. That is the cons of the full recovery model, but we will prefer only full recovery model. Okay, so why? Because no data loss will be there in the full recovery model. And the second thing is, point in time recovery is possible. We can restore all the backups to restore, we can use all the backups to restore a database till a second before the corruption, using that full differential log and tail log backups and all. What is this bulk log recovery model? So here, every transaction is logged into the transaction log file except the bulk insert statements which are minimally logged. Okay, you have to understand this concept logically. So in the bulk logged recovery model, all the transactions, like how full recovery model will work, in the same way it will work. But if any bulk inserts operations are there, all the bulk inserts are minimally logged. Minimally logged means what? What is meant by minimally logged? Minimally logged means only basic details will be stored. Very basic details about the transaction will be stored. Why it is storing these kind of details, this many details? Why? If something happened to any of the database, so that it can redo and undo the transactions, right? If some, imagine during the insert process, your database is offline, went to offline. Okay, I gave you an example, right? If you are inserting 1 lakh transactions, yeah, 99,999 transactions went successful, but the last transaction is going to commit, but suddenly your database went to offline. Then once the database is online, what is the first action it is going to do? It is going to undo all the 99,999 transactions. Then it will redo all the transactions. If you are redoing the transactions, it has to know, right, on what database I have to run this transaction, on what table I have to run this transaction. It has to know, right? So that's why it will store all the details in the log file. But if bulk inserts operations are there, during bulk inserts operations, the log file growth would be very high. Bulk inserts means what? Lakhs and lakhs of inserts. Okay, so during the time, the log file growth will be very high. So SQL Server will give a chance, in case if you want, you can keep the database in the minimally logged, bulk logged recovery model, so that all the bulk operations, bulk inserts are minimally logged, means only basic details will be stored. Only basic details of the transaction will be stored. Now tell me, rollback is possible if the database is in bulk log recovery model or not? Rollback option is there for the bulk log recovery model database?
No, sir.
Rollback is possible or not?
Not possible,
If
sir.
Not possible.
if bulk operations are performed, then not possible. If normal operations are performed, it's possible.
Who is that?
Pooja.
Very good. Okay, so the answer is yes. If there are no bulk operations, it will behave like a full recovery model database, guys. If there is a bulk operations, then all the bulk operations are minimally logged. Minimally logged means it will only store the basic details of the transaction. If it stores the basic details, rollback is not possible. If it stores all the details, then rollback is possible. Redo, undo. Okay, redo, undo, or rollback, roll forward. Got the point? So bulk logged recovery model, if you keep your databases in bulk logged recovery model, until bulk inserts are there, it will behave like a full recovery model database. If bulk inserts are there, all bulk inserts are minimally logged. That means only basic details of the batch will be stored. So as there are no complete details, rollback, roll forward is not possible if bulk inserts operations are there. If bulk insert operations are not there, rollback is possible. In the same way, point in time recovery is possible or not on the bulk log recovery model?
No, sir. Pointing time recovery is not possible.
Okay. Again, for that also the answer is yes, point in time recovery is possible if there are no bulk operations. No point in time recovery is not possible if there are bulk operations. See, it will behave like a full recovery model if there are no bulk insert operations. In full recovery model, we have point in time recovery option, right? Right? So until there is a bulk operations, it will behave like a full recovery model. So in full recovery model, point in time recovery is possible. If any bulk inserts are there on the database, as bulk inserts are minimally logged. Minimally logged means what? Writing basic details to the log file is called minimally logged. So if bulk inserts are there, if bulk inserts are there, all the bulk inserts are minimally logged. So point in time recovery is not possible if any bulk inserts are there. Clear? Right? So we have one more recovery model called simple recovery model. What is the simple recovery model? So simple recovery model is also going to work as full recovery model only. Okay, there is a major difference between full and simple recovery model. In the full recovery model, the log file won't be truncated automatically, right? Log file won't be truncated automatically in the full recovery model. But in the simple recovery model, log file will be truncated automatically. That is the major difference between simple and full. Log file will be truncated automatically. What is the problem if the log file will be truncated automatically?
There is loss of
Sorry. What is the problem? If the log file is truncated automatically, what is the problem, guys?
Data loss.
How?
Point in time restoration is not possible, sir, under
How?
that situation.
How? Why?
Because we are not saving the transactions.
Why?
log file will be deleted, will be truncated automatically. So that's what we are lost the data.
Very good. Okay, so that the despite of committed or uncommitted transactions, log file will be truncated automatically. If log file is truncated automatically, you cannot generate log backups. If log backups are not possible, point in time recovery is not possible, right? How can we achieve point in time recovery? With the help of full differential log, tail log backups, right? So if there are no log backup concept, how can you achieve point in time recovery? So simple and full, what is the difference between simple recovery model and full recovery model? Full recovery model, it will write each and everything to the log file, and the log file won't be truncated automatically. Whenever you took the log backup, then only the log file will be truncated in the full recovery model. Whereas in the simple recovery model, log file will be truncated automatically. Automatically means when? There should be some time, right? At what time it is going to be truncated automatically? When a checkpoint run on the database, the log file will be truncated automatically. When the checkpoint will run on the database, by default, when checkpoint will run on the database? In
For
what
every
in
60 seconds, sir.
Very good. For every 60 seconds, automatic checkpoint will run on each database. That means for every 60 seconds, your log file will be truncated automatically. So log backups are not possible on the simple recovery model database. Not at all possible. If your database is in simple recovery model, okay, you cannot take the log backup. If there are no log backups, there is no point in time recovery. First of all, they will ask you how many recovery models are there. Next question is they will ask you a bulk log recovery. Why? Because people will confuse in the bulk log recovery model. Okay, so nothing is there to confuse. Bulk log recovery model, full recovery model, both are same. But if any bulk inserts operations are there, those bulk inserts operations are minimally logged. That means it will store only basic details of that bulk insert transaction. So it cannot roll back the transaction. So that's why point in time recovery is not possible if bulk inserts operations are there. Point in time recovery is possible if there are no bulk insert operations. Simply if there are no bulk insert operations, the bulk log recovery model will work as a full recovery model. If there are bulk operations, those bulk operations are minimally logged. So point in time recovery is not possible. Okay, and third one is simple recovery model. Everything, it will also behave like a full recovery model. It will also store each and every transaction, all the transaction details in the log file. But the problem in the simple recovery model is every 60 seconds, the log file will be truncated automatically. So nothing will be stored in the log file. So nothing is there to take the log backup. So log backups are not possible. You can ask, sir, every 1 minute or every 59 seconds, can I take the log backup? Okay, so log backup concept is not at all possible in the simple recovery model. It won't allow us to take the log backup. If your database is in simple recovery model, you cannot take the log backup. If you cannot take the log backup, you cannot do the point in time recovery. So point in time recovery is not possible on the simple recovery model database. What is the reason? Log backups are not there, right? We cannot take log backups, right? So that's why you cannot perform point in time recovery on the simple recovery model database. Yes. Who is this? I cannot recall her name. Joshi. That is your name only, right? Please rename it. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
will
That's yeah. Fine. Okay. So bulk insert means I told you, right? Bulk operations. Like in case if you are doing millions of transactions. Okay. That is also bulk insert. And one more thing is there, if you are loading data from the external sources, like from Excel to SQL Server, from a notepad to SQL Server, from CSV file to SQL Server, from other source like Oracle or MySQL, NoSQL to SQL Server, that is also we can call it as a bulk insert operations. Okay, clear? Any issues, any doubts? Sir, please let us know. That's what we are saying, Joshi. That's what I have explained to you. Okay, so bulk insert means millions of transactions, huge transactions you can consider as bulk insert. First one. Second thing, if you are loading transactions from the external sources like a CSV file to SQL Server, an Excel sheet to SQL Server, for that also you have to use bulk insert query. These two scenarios you can count it as a bulk insert operations. Okay, fine. Any questions, any doubts? Right, so how can I change? Can I change the recovery model of any database? Can
Yes,
I change the
sir.
recovery model?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can change it. Okay, so you can happily change it. How can we change it? Go to properties of the
Properties.
database, go to the option space, and if you can see here, full you want to change it to bulk logged, select bulk logged and click OK. In this way, you can change the recovery model, or else bulk logged to simple. You can again go to the properties, option space, bulk logged to simple. Okay, you can change. So in this way you can change. There is a query also. Okay, what is the query? Alter database name. What is the query? Alter database name.
Recovery, bulk logged or simple or
Alter database. Alter database. Sorry, let me write database. Alter database name. Set recovery equal to simple. Right. So what is the recovery model? You can use query also. There is a query to find out the recovery model of the database. Under SP_help DB, you can see all the recovery models of the database. I am getting this one. Okay, that's. Oh, okay. SP_help DB, right? Okay. Where is that? Where is that? Let me. Yeah, here you can see, right? Recovery. Simple, full. And what is the Amazon database name? Amazon. Okay, so the second one. What is the recovery? Full, right? So if you run this query now, recovery, set recovery underscore model.
set recovery underscore simple.
Underscore simple.
Yes.
Set recovery underscore simple. No, not that one.
Sir, the recovery is full, sir. There.
Not is equal to, I guess. Set recovery simple. That's it, like this, right? Yeah. Set recovery, not underscore. Set recovery. If you want to change it to full, you can mention as full. If you want to change it to bulk logged, you can mention as bulk logged. Okay. Now, if you run this query, Now you can see here, let me expand this column. Amazon database, right? Yeah, earlier it was full, right? Now it was simple. Or else you can change from here also. That is a query, and this is GUI. If you want to change like this, you can change it. Files, sorry, options. You want to change it to full again, full or bulk logged. You can generate a script for that. Close it. Alter database name, set recovery, bulk underscore logged. Set recovery. If you want to change it to full, set recovery, bulk, this one, full, set recovery, full. That's it. So this is the query to change the recovery model of the database. Okay, right. So we have a small issue here. Okay, once you change the recovery model of the database, you have to take the full backup. See here, Amazon recovery model is full, right? Earlier it is full. Now I change it to simple, right? Now the Amazon database recovery model is simple. You can see the simple recovery model here in the table and all. You can see the simple recovery model. But you know, here, if you see here, it will show as simple recovery model only. But it is not exactly in the simple recovery model, guys. Okay, even though it shows a simple recovery model, it is not exactly in the simple recovery model. It is still in the full recovery model only. When it will be converted into simple recovery model, you have to take the full backup. Okay, if you change the recovery model, you have to take the full backup. Then only the recovery model will be affected. Otherwise, even though the recovery model is changed to simple, still it will behave like it is in old recovery model database. Till now it is in full recovery model, right? You just change it to simple, but you haven't took the full backup, right? Even though it shows as simple, but it will behave like it is in full recovery model database only. This phenomenon is called pseudo simple recovery model. Pseudo simple recovery model. What is this pseudo simple recovery model? Whenever you change the recovery model of the database, you have to take the full backup. Then only it will be applied. The new recovery model will be applied. Till you are going to take the full backup. Say for example, today morning at 10 o'clock, I changed the recovery model from full to simple. Later I found that at 4 o'clock I found, okay, I have to take the full backup, right? So at 4 o'clock I took the full backup on the database. From 10 to 4 it will be in pseudo simple recovery model. You cannot see pseudo simple recovery model state, but even though you changed at 10 o'clock, you took the full backup at 4 o'clock, right? This 10 to 4 it will behave like it is in full recovery model database only. That phenomenon is called pseudo simple recovery model. Sometimes interviewers will ask what is the pseudo simple recovery model and all. Simply the answer is, whenever you took the full backup, you have to change the recovery model. Until you change the recovery model, okay, the database is in pseudo simple recovery model. That means it will behave like it is in old recovery model database. Okay, clear? Any issues, any doubts? If there are no doubts, tomorrow we are going to start restoration. Okay, how to restore the database from one server to another server within the same server. How to restore it, we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we are going to meet by 7:30 p.m. Okay, so any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to close the session for today.
Do we have a class tomorrow?
Why you need any holiday?
Sir, tomorrow is a Raksha Bandhan. That's
I
why
know,
I'm
sure.
asking to
Tomorrow
you.
is the Raksha Bandhan. I know. So tell me, how many of you need a holiday for tomorrow? Why? Because if we complete early, so that will be fine, right? That's what. Of course, I know the importance of Raksha Bandhan, but tell me, if you want a holiday, I can give you the holiday, but no problem. You can continue, sir. Then I don't have any issues. It's up to you only. Tell me, we don't have time. We have 3 minutes only. Tomorrow, are we going to connect or not? The decision is in your hands. You ask, Joshi. You only asked for the holiday. Now you are saying I want the class. Okay, that's fine. Tomorrow we'll connect at least 1.5 hours. Okay, I'll take class from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Tomorrow class is there 7:30 to 9 o'clock. I'll take the class. Okay, right. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, for tail log backup, is there any specific time, sir, after corruption of any database?
Tail log backup you cannot take with the time. Tail log backup you cannot mention the time, but while restoration you can mention the time. Okay. While restoration you can mention if your database is corrupted 130, right? You can mention the time using stop at parameters in the restore query. Restore database name. You have to give the file name .dak. You have to use stop at parameter. If your database is corrupted 130, you can use stop at parameter and you can give the timestamp at 129:59 seconds. You can mention the timestamp so that it is going to restore till 129:59 seconds. Okay, any questions, any doubts? If no doubts, that's it for today. Okay, tomorrow you are going to meet at 7:30 p.m. Okay, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Take
Yeah,
care.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Good night all.